Alright, let's try to bring this to a rendering package and do some final render. Okay, this model can be used in a game, so because we're making it super low res, not super low res, but low res enough, right? So if we take a look at the wireframe, right? Okay, so to get it out, we can go for File, Export Textures, okay? And we can use Unreal Engine 4 packed for Unreal Engine, right? So let's do that. I'm gonna go pick a place. So I can go create a new folder and call this boot textures, and then select folder, and then just change the resolution to 4K to get a higher resolution, right? Just export it. Okay, it's gonna go through the process of updating the model into updating the textures to 4K and then export them. So that's gonna take some time. Meanwhile, we can go to Unreal Engine and we can import our model first. Or not, because it's taking out the performance. So let's wait for it to finish then. Alright, so we're done with exporting. We have those 3 textures, right? We can bring those 3 textures to Unreal. Okay, so what I can do is just grab those 3 textures and drag them into the content browser. Okay, and then for this map, this weird looking map, double click to open that, and you change it to not sRGB. I believe that's what they want you to do to get the correct information. Okay, let me save everything here. And also I can go to the show and then find that show low model that we were using earlier for texturing. Let's drag it in. Let's use default settings. And if I remember this correctly, I want to combine all the model together, so I need to check on combine mesh, which is here already, and import out. Okay, all right, save this guy also, and then all I have to do is give it a material. So material here, and then we can call this guy show or m_show or put. Okay. Double click to open that, grab the 3 textures, drag them in. We connect normal map to normal map, connect color to base color, and we connect this guy. The first one goes to ambient occlusion, second one goes to roughness, and third one goes to metallic. Apply, and we can also save it, and that's going to be the material setup. Okay, you can see it's pretty close to what we have defined. We can grab our model and use the model as the preview model. Okay, save it and close that. Now double click to open our show model and drag that over as the material and save it. Okay, and then we can drag our model in and we can do some very simple lighting. We can go create a point light to start lighting it, right? And we can maybe create another one. We drag it to the back to make it behave like a rim light. The background is too black. Does not make my model look good. Anyway, so yeah, just play with the lighting. This is not a lighting class, so I'm not gonna go overboard on that. But this is basically how you bring this to the final rendering, to the game engine, right, to Unreal. Unity should be very, very similar because there are Unity preset. So you know what? Let me open Unity and let's bring this guy in. Okay, now we have Unity opened, and I just need to also drag in the show model. And we do have to, however, export a different set of textures. So we have Unity 5 standard specular and standard metallic, right? So there are two systems you can try. So let's take a look at the material we have here. So if I go create a material and take a look, you can see the reason it's asking for like either metallic or specular is because there are two systems. And specular is I think it's an old system, so I think metallic would be the best solution here. Right, so let's go back to substance and choose Unity 5 standard and metallic. This is not Unity 5 anymore, it should be Unity 2018, so they should update it, but I don't see them updating it. Or maybe my version is a little old, who knows. But we can just use the metallic, it should be working just fine. And let me create another folder called Unity texture. And then select folder and just export. Okay. Meanwhile, we can go here and grab the show and just drag move to the material and just drag our new material to there to assign it and apply. Okay, and then I can name this material show material. Okay, and just need to wait for our textures. Hopefully it's done already or not. Let me pause the video until it's done. Alright, so our exporting is done. Let's open the folders. You can see we got also just 3 images. Right, I'm going to drag that into Unity. Okay. Alright, and then what we can do is just drag the color to albedo. Normal map has to be a normal map, so you change that to normal map and then apply. Okay, and then we can go grab the normal map and drag it over to normal, right? Alright, and then we have this one for metallic, drag that over to metallic. Okay, alright, and then we can also make sure that the smoothness is up to 1. The metallic's alpha channel is smoothness, as you can see here. Alright, so now we can drag our show into the viewport and take a look. Right, so this is how it looks like in Unity. Yeah, also pretty good. Kind of rotate this guy. Alright, so that's how you bring our final result, right, to either Unreal Engine or Unity. I think graphic wise, I think they're pretty capable of doing a lot of stuff. But for a really good render, you still need to have like a actual renderer that's focusing on graphics. Game engine does try to do graphic as good as possible, but their primary goal is still hit that 60 frames per second mark, right? So they cannot do a lot of things like, you know, like real renderers can do, like real ray tracing. Well, they're trying to do that now, which is amazing. But still, the actual renders like Arnold or Vere could do better. Okay. So you can see this is Unreal. We can bring things a little bit further. Somehow I feel like Unreal is a little bit more saturated than I want them to be. That because of the color? What happens if I check out sRGB? Well, although they don't want you to do that. Actually, I don't think that's going to do anything good. Okay. Yeah, let's also maybe just take a look at how it's going to look like in Arnold, if you're curious. Maybe, yeah, let's just do that right now. So we have our model here in Maya, right? And we have our substance. I feel like Unity gives me a closer result, but maybe this is just because of the lighting. What's going on here? Why am I not seeing it anymore? Okay, now it's doing that. Anyway, so let's export the textures for the Arnold 5 AI standard. And yeah, 4K is fun. Can call this guy, give it a new folder, Arnold textures. Select folder and export it again. So again, that's gonna take some time to transfer to the high resolution. Meanwhile, I want to go to Unreal and just drag it out. Yeah, I think it's a little bit more saturated than I want it to be for some reason. And maybe a new level with the sky and everything. Let's see how does it look like over here. So basically both engines are using PBR, so I wouldn't expect to see that much of a difference when it comes to a PBR set it up, a already PBR ready material. So I think they should be very similar. Somehow to me though, I do feel like I don't want ZBrush. Let me just make this guy a bit smaller so I can compare it to Unity. Yeah. As you can see, not that much of a difference. Maybe just this one is a little bit more grayed out, which is actually what I got from Substance, right? And Unreal somehow is making it super saturated. Don't know why. Maybe it's just because of the lighting that is different, or I can use post-processing to desaturate it if I want to do that. Anyway, let's not bother with that. That's the game engine thing, right? It's just how to bring those things in. So for renders, right, go back here to Maya, and we have the model here already. We don't have to re-import the model anymore, and those are our textures, right? So what we do here is we go grab both models. Let's add the high resolution model. So both models assign new material, right? And we assign, of course I don't have that plugin, so go to plugin manager and look for Arnold. Huh, I don't even have Arnold here in Maya. That's interesting. Okay, so that's weird. I should have it. M2A, yeah, that's Arnold. Sorry. So this got unlinked for some reason. All my plugins are checked off, so I need to recheck them in again. So don't know why. Yeah, and I'm gonna give it a new material, right? Assign new material, and then I can choose now Arnold shaders, Arnold standard surface. Okay, boot material. So again, a real renderer should do better. Let's see. Let's go to Window Node Editor here. Clear the graph, and select this material and add it in. Okay, I can grab all the textures and drag them inwards. Okay, and I can align the textures. Okay, so the color goes to color, so minimal drag it over there. Okay, I can take a look at that in the viewport by hitting 6. Okay, All right. And then we also connect the, see the specularity, we need to connect, we have roughness and metallic, that's metallic goes to there. And because this guy is pure information, so we need to change it to raw. And that goes to metalness, actually. Yeah. And also you want to, it's using alt alpha to make sure that your alpha is luminance is on, or otherwise it's not reading the correct information. Or maybe it is, I don't know how they set this up internally. Roughness, of course, goes to roughness. And again, we need to say roughness will be also raw. Alpha is luminance. Okay. And then we have the hat, which we don't need. We just need to go to the geometry and connect the normal map. And then it's, of course, going to be a normal map. And also, for the normal map to work properly, you also have to make it a raw. All right, cool. So with those set it up, we can then go create some lighting, or maybe just a dome light. Okay. And then I can go to the attribute editor, and in the color, I'm gonna load a file, and that file will be the same file we use for program files, algorithmic, right, and substance painter, and then resources, shelf, and then environment, exterior, and panorama, right? That's the one we're using in substance painter. We can use the same HDR here to light our scene. Okay, cool. And then we can do a render here to see what we got. Right, something feels wrong. Huh, it feels a little bit weird. It feels like the normal is flipped. So let's see if we can fix that. Let's grab the model here and say, okay, your model, your normal map is wrong. So I'm gonna go to the bump mapping and back here to the normal section. There's an Arnold quick flipping thing. I can flip those two things off. You can see it can quickly fix that problem. Okay. All right. As you can see, a real renderer will give you a much accurate render. Right? You can see just that much more accuracy inside of the render. So I would recommend for a final demonstration, right, you create a real render from like Arnold or V-Ray, because those renders does do better, right? There is a reason why they're slow, because they calculate things in a real way, so they have to calculate it real careful, calculate in a realistic way, so they're slow. Okay, all right. So this is Arnold. Okay, and then I can drag Maya away, and that's Unreal, right? And that's Unity. So we can compare those three things. And also a alternative, you want to, if you want to get a quick render, which is the array render here, just click on the substance painter rendering, and you can see we got array render, which also does a pretty good job. Okay, so I have done some test render. You can check on clear color to have the background grayish, and then you can turn on post processing. Right, I have vignette and color correction on, so I lower down the saturation and just have a little bit more contrast, and also a little bit more vignette. You can see how much better a real renderer can do, right, than the game engine, because the game engine feels more flat, feels a little bit fake, while the renderers are doing way better. Right. Okay, so we have 4 renderers to render this show. Just to show you that there's multiple options. Another real-time render that can do better, I think it's Marmoset. Marmoset can do probably a better job than at least Unreal or Unity, because it's still focusing on render, right? The other guys, the other things, they're not focusing on the renders. The game engines are not, like, they want to do better render. The problem is they are not capable of doing as good as those renders like Arnold or Viri or Airy render. Okay, can clearly see the amount of detail we got from these two compared to the other two. Alright, cool. So that's gonna be it for this entire video series. And we came a long way from sculpting, right, to retopologizing, to UV, to texturing, to eventually bring this to the final rendering package, the entire workflow, all the way to the very end, right? I hope that all the information here helps you. I really encourage you to spend time on Substance Designer, because that, and also of course Painter, that those two things can really bring your model to the next level, bring your texture to life. So yeah, definitely spend more time on that. And that's gonna be it for this tutorial series. Thanks for watching. See you next time.